A mother's love is incomparable. When a mother worries about her children, she does everything possible for them to be well. A mother's tears are like pearls falling in the ground. Tears of love. The sleeplessness of a mother is a sleeplessness of love. God has been generous with us because we have our mothers. Some may already be with Him in heaven, others are still with us. Moms intercede for us with our dads. I remember when I took a piece of bread from the kitchen without my parents' permission. My father took off his belt to give me what I deserved. But my mother got between him and I and contained my father's anger. In the same way, today we see in the gospel the love of a mother, concern for her daughter. How much does she wait? How far did she walk from her house to where Jesus was? Had she ate something? We don't know. Without being an Israelite and knowing that the Israelites are very jealous of their tradition, she went out to meet Jesus. She didn't care what she was going to face. She had her daughter on mind. Someone told her about Jesus, or she heard about his fame, and she went to meet Jesus. Going out to meet Jesus, that is very important for us, because the grace and blessings of God comes to us if we take the initiative to go out and meet him. And God sees our effort and gives us rewards. So the Canaanite woman began to scream. Imagine the despair of that woman. The woman makes her daughter's pain her own. That is important for us, especially in these times. You have to be empathetic. The suffering of others should not be indifferent for us. Unfortunately, we see that many people no longer care about others. So much that some people no longer let them be burned. So the woman insists. She does not stop. Love is stronger than any obstacle. And she decides to steal a miracle from the Lord. But Jesus ignores her. God is in silence. And God's silence sometimes despairs us, because we expect a quick response from him, and his response does not come. It's necessary to insist. So her insistence is so great that she follows them and follows them until she angers the disciples who approach Jesus. Here we see that the barrier between Jesus and her falls off. Someone has interceded for her. My daughter is terribly tormented by a demon, she said. Brothers and sisters, evil is real. The existence of demons is real. Possessions are real. Vexatio is a Latin word. It's the term that exorcists use when a demon torments someone. It does not possess the people yet, but it's around, bother the soul. That is real. So it is necessary to get closer to God to avoid that. How? Sacraments. We have to get close to the sacraments to avoid that attacks from the demon. And that is what the woman does. She approached Jesus. Nothing can stop her. Nothing stops mother's love. But why the silence of Jesus? Jesus certainly heard her. But why did he act immediately? He's testing her faith and her knowledge. Maybe Jesus thought, okay, how do you know? Then I can help you. Oh, how do you know that I am the son of David? The woman was not an Israelite, but we imagine that she had knowledge of what the first reading of the prophet Isaiah tells us. The salvation of which the prophet speaks is in front of her. So she's doing justice to her daughter. She might think, it's not fair that my daughter suffered like that. I want her to be safe from the oppression of the demon. So she's doing what is right. She's doing what is just. Justice and salvation that the first reading is talking about. She was foreign, but she believed in the Lord. Faith in Jesus has led her to his holy mountain, just like us. Faith in Jesus has led us to this holy mountain to serve him, love him, and worship him. So the Lord invites us to keep a special day for him. Keep his Sabbath. That is the Lord's Day, the day we celebrate his resurrection. On this day, the Lord receives our sacrifices and offerings and transforms them into grace for each of one of us. God invites us to his temple. This is not the temple of Fathers Gabriel or Fathers Jerry. No. It's God's temple that with the effort of all of you, moved by your generous heart, has been built in honor to St. Joseph for the glory of God. To come and pray, to talk with him, to receive justice and salvation. Paul says that God does not regret that the gifts he gives us to be chosen by him. We are chosen ones. We are here to receive God's mercy. We have achieved God's mercy despite being rebellious against him. I was a rebel against God. I grew up on the streets of my city. I was a gang member. I was far away from God for more than 25 years. God called me, and I didn't want to listen. Finally, at the age of 33, I did my first communion. Practically, what happened to St. Paul happened to me. In a certain way, I was persecuting the church with my attitude. And he knocks me off from my horse. I was one of those lost sheep. He was looking for him. He was looking for me, but I was not looking for him. I was picking up other kind of scraps instead of the scraps that fall from the table of the Lord. In my desperation, I cry out, Jesus, have pity on me. And here I am.